I picked up fresh greens from my garden bed yesterday, in the middle of December, while my neighbors probably think I've lost my mind standing out there in 35-degree weather with a harvest basket in my hands. But here's the thing they don't get. And honestly, most Zone 7 gardeners are completely missing this. There are plants that literally laugh at winter cold, plants that sit there with frost all over them. And when you brush that ice off, boom, you've got tonight's dinner ready to go. I'm talking about perennial edibles that don't just make it through Zone 7 winters. They actually grow food when it's freezing outside. And no, I'm not talking about dropping serious cash on some fancy greenhouse or complicated setup. I'm talking about plants you stick in the ground one time, and they feed you every single year, even when snow's covering everything. Now, before I show you the exact plants that do this, and trust me, number 3 is growing in my backyard right now, and it's basically bulletproof, we gotta talk about why Zone 7 is secretly the perfect spot for winter harvesting. Because if you're gardening in Zone 7 and not doing this, you're literally leaving fresh food on the table. Most gardening videos won't tell you this straight up. Zone 7 sits in this sweet spot. You get cold enough weather to grow those tough, cold-loving crops that need a good chill. But you're not frozen solid where the ground turns into concrete for 4 straight months. Your typical winter low temperature drops somewhere between 0 and 10 degrees. Sounds pretty rough, right? But here's what matters. Most of your actual winter days hang out in the 30s and 40s. And for the right plants, that's perfect growing weather. I learned this the hard way my first Zone 7 winter. I shut down my whole garden in October like every gardening book told me to. Pulled everything out, cleaned it all up, called it done. Then January rolls around and I'm standing in the grocery store paying $5 for a tiny container of mixed greens that taste like the plastic clamshell they came in. And I'm thinking, this is absolutely ridiculous. There's gotta be a better way to do this. So I started digging into research. And that's when I stumbled onto perennial edibles specifically designed for this exact kind of weather. Plants that actually get sweeter and taste better after a hard frost hits them. Plants that go dormant when it gets super freezing, then wake right back up during those warmer winter days that Zone 7 throws at us. And here's the part that really sold me. Once you plant these things, you're basically done with the hard work. You don't mess around starting seeds every spring. You don't transplant. You don't baby them. These plants come back tougher and more productive every single year. Some of these will literally outlive your 30-year mortgage. But here's where I see 7 gardeners screw this up constantly. They stick these plants in the completely wrong location, then can't figure out why nothing's producing in winter. I'm gonna show you the exact spots these need to go in your yard. But first, let me introduce you to the actual plants. Because once you see what these can do, you're gonna wanna get them ordered right now. Let's kick this off with something that sounds absolutely bizarre, but works like magic: walking onions. These things are like something out of a sci-fi movie. I'm not even joking.
Here's how this works.
You plant them one time, they start growing like normal onions do, but then at the top of the plant, instead of making flowers, they grow these little baby bulbs up there. Those bulbs get heavy enough that the whole stalk bends down to the ground and boom, brand new onion plant starts growing right there. They literally walk themselves across your garden bed over a few years. It's wild. In Zone 7 winters, these stay totally green. You can walk outside in January and just snip off the green tops for whatever you're cooking. The bulbs sitting underground are ready whenever you want to dig them up. And those weird little bulbs growing on top, you can eat those too. They taste like shallots. I planted 12 of these 3 years back. I've now got over 50 plants going, and I haven't bought a single green onion from any store since 2022. Zero maintenance. They literally just do their thing without me. Now this next one is where things get really fun. French sorrel is this leafy green that tastes like somebody mixed lemons with spinach. It's tangy, it's bright, and it actually makes winter salads exciting instead of boring. Here's what I love about sorrel. First frost comes through and the plant doesn't even flinch. The leaves might look a little beat up for maybe a day or two, then they bounce right back like nothing happened. I've gone out and harvested sorrel in February when there was actual ice stuck to the leaves. You brush the ice off, give them a quick rinse, and they're absolutely perfect. One single plant keeps giving you leaves all winter long. You just grab the bigger outside leaves, and the center of the plant keeps pumping out new ones. Plant it once, and it comes back for 10 years, maybe longer. And if you let it drop seeds, which I do in one corner of my garden, it reseeds itself and you get baby sorrel plants popping up everywhere. Free plants that you didn't even ask for. Can't beat that deal. Okay, this next one is hands down my favorite, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why. Sunchokes, some people call them Jerusalem artichokes, are basically your underground food vault that you don't have to mess with preserving or canning or anything. You stick these in the ground in spring. They shoot up tall, and I mean really tall. Sometimes they hit 8 feet. They look nice. They make pretty yellow flowers in late summer. And the whole time underground, they're cranking out these knobby tubers that taste like if artichokes and potatoes had a baby together. But here's where it gets really cool. You don't dig them all up in fall. You just leave them right there in the ground. The ground becomes your refrigerator. Whenever you want some, you go dig up a few. They stay perfectly fresh, sitting in the soil all winter long. In Zone 7, the ground doesn't freeze into a solid block, so you can literally dig these up in December, January, February, whenever you feel like it. I planted one small patch 4 years ago. That patch has now spread out to cover about 50 square feet, and every single winter I know I've got food just sitting there in the ground. Even if we get slammed with a huge snowstorm and I can't get to the store for a week, doesn't matter. I've got sunchokes ready to go. Fair warning though, these spread like absolute crazy. Plant them somewhere you don't mind them taking over or put them in a bed with barriers. But honestly, if you've got the space, just let them go wild. More food for you. This next one most people have never even heard of. Good King Henry is this old European perennial that basically acts like spinach, except way tougher and more cold hardy. You can harvest leaves from early spring straight through winter. In Zone 7, it slows down a bit when it gets really brutal cold, but on those warmer winter days, it's actively putting out new growth. The young shoots that come up in early spring can be cooked exactly like asparagus. The leaves work just like spinach in any recipe. And the plant just keeps coming back year after year. Plant it once, and you've got a solid vegetable garden staple for literal decades. I've got a patch that's 5 years old right now, and every year it gets bigger and produces more food. That's the whole deal with perennials. They're an investment that literally pays you back more every single season that goes by. Now here's where most people completely mess this up. And I did too when I first started, so don't feel bad if you've done this. You can't just stick these plants anywhere random in your yard and expect them to pump out food all winter. There's a specific strategy to where you put them that makes all the difference between a plant that barely limps through winter and one that's actually cranking out harvests. And it's not complicated or confusing, but is specific and you gotta get it right. The spot you pick for these plants determines everything. It's the difference between harvesting fresh food in January or just staring at sad frozen stalks wondering what went wrong. I learned this after my first winter, when half my perennials did amazing and the other half barely survived. When I finally figured out the pattern, everything clicked. So let me break down exactly how to set these up for success. Because this is what separates a winter garden that actually works from one that disappoints you every year. First thing you need to know. South-facing locations are your absolute best friend. If you've got a south-facing wall, fence, or even the south side of your house, that's where these plants need to live. Why does this matter so much? Because in winter, that southern exposure catches every single bit of available sun. The wall or fence works like a heat battery. It soaks up warmth all day, then releases it slowly at night. Your plants stay a few degrees warmer, which means they keep actively growing when everything else shuts down completely. I moved my sorrel from the middle of my garden bed to right against the south side of my garage 2 years ago. Same exact plant, just different location. The difference was absolutely night and day. Against that garage wall, it produced leaves nonstop all winter. Before I moved it, the thing went mostly dormant and barely gave me anything. Here's something I really wish somebody had explained to me way sooner. Winter mulch is not the same thing as summer mulch at all. In summer, you're mulching to keep weeds down and hold moisture in. In winter, you're mulching to insulate the roots and protect them from those freeze-thaw cycles. That's what actually kills plants in Zone 7. Not the cold itself, but that constant back and forth freezing and thawing that happens over and over all winter. I use about 4 to 6 inches of straw around all my winter perennials. Not hay, because hay's full of weed seeds and you'll absolutely hate yourself come springtime. Straw. Put it down right after your first hard freeze hits. This keeps your soil temperature way more stable, and it keeps your plants actively producing for much longer. My walking onions under straw stay green almost the entire winter. The ones I didn't mulch that first year, they looked absolutely rough by the time January rolled around. Now, if you really want to level this up, get yourself some cold frames. You don't need anything expensive or fancy. I built mine out of old windows I grabbed for free off Facebook Marketplace and some basic 2x4s from the hardware store. A cold frame is basically just a box with a clear top on it. You set it over your plants, and it traps heat inside. On a sunny winter day, it can easily hit 60 or 70 degrees inside that frame, even when it's 30 outside. It's like a mini greenhouse that costs almost nothing. I put a cold frame over my sorrel and good King Henry. Those plants legitimately think it's springtime all winter long. I'm pulling fresh greens constantly from under there. You can buy cold frames if you want, but honestly, building one is super easy and dirt cheap. Just make a simple box that fits over your plants. Slap an old window or some clear plastic sheeting on top, and you're done. Put it on the south side of something for bonus warmth. Last thing here, and this took me years to really get, every single yard has microclimates. These are little pockets that run warmer or colder than the rest of your property. That corner where your 2 fences meet up? Probably warmer. The low spot where cold air naturally settles? Colder. The area tucked under your deck? More protected from wind. Walk around your yard and really pay attention to these spots. Where does snow melt first in your yard? That's a warm microclimate. Where does frost hang around the longest? That's a cold spot you want to avoid. Stick your winter perennials in those warmer protected spots. I've got sunchokes growing in the corner where my house wall meets my back fence, and they stay actively growing weeks longer than the ones I have out in the open garden area. Okay, so now you know what to plant and exactly where to put it, but there's another level beyond this that most gardeners never actually get to. It's the stuff that separates people who harvest a little bit in winter from people who have so much fresh food they're literally giving it away to neighbors in February. And it's not more work, which is what's crazy about it. Some of these techniques actually save you time and effort, but they do require you to think about your garden totally differently. You gotta stop thinking like a summer gardener and start thinking like someone who's actually working with winter instead of fighting against it. Here's something that absolutely blew my mind when I first learned it. You don't need a root cellar if you're gardening in Zone 7 soil. Your ground is the root cellar. Those sunchokes I mentioned earlier, they're not just surviving down there in the ground. They're being perfectly stored at exactly the right temperature and humidity. You can't replicate those conditions in your basement no matter how hard you try. I do the same thing with other root crops I'm growing as perennials. The ground naturally protects them from freezing completely solid, but keeps them cold enough that they don't rot. It's literally perfect natural storage. The only key here is marking where they are. I use stakes or I remember specific landmarks, because trying to dig up sunchokes in January when your whole garden looks identical can turn into a real adventure real quick. Now, this sounds weird because perennials come back on their own, right? But here's what I actually do. I have 3 separate patches of sorrel planted in totally different locations around my yard. One in full sun, one in partial shade, one right against my south-facing wall. They all peak at different times through winter based on where they're sitting. The full sun patch produces like crazy during those stretches of sunny winter weather. The partial shade one actually does better during the really cold snaps because it's more protected from harsh conditions. The one against the wall is my super consistent producer that just keeps going no matter what. By having the same plant in multiple spots, I get steady harvests all winter long instead of that feast or famine situation where you've got too much one week and nothing the next. This works great for sorrel and Good King Henry especially. Instead of picking individual leaves here and there, I do a full cut back. When the plant hits about 8 inches tall, I take scissors and cut it down to about 2 inches above the ground. Sounds brutal and harsh, but here's what actually happens. The plant responds by pushing out tons of fresh, tender new growth. Those brand new leaves are way sweeter and more tender than the older established ones. And in Zone 7 winters, the plant gets enough warm days to regrow multiple times over the season. I end up getting way more total food this way than if I just picked leaves randomly here and there. And the plants actually seem healthier overall because I'm constantly forcing them to put out fresh, vigorous growth. Look, here's the real truth about winter gardening with perennials in Zone 7. This isn't about some survival gardening situation or doomsday prepping mindset. This is purely about having way better food. Food that tastes incredible because it was picked 20 feet from your kitchen instead of picked 3 weeks ago and trucked halfway across the country. It's about walking outside in January, brushing some snow off your sorrel patch, and making a salad that makes store-bought greens taste like cardboard. It's about knowing that even if the power goes out or the store runs out of something, you've got actual food growing. Not because you're paranoid, but because you're just smart about it. And honestly, it's just really cool. There's something deeply satisfying about harvesting real food in winter. Your neighbors think you're some kind of gardening wizard, and you kind of feel like one too. The absolute best part though, you do the work once. You plant these perennials, you set them up in the right spots, and then they work for you for years and years. Every single year they come back stronger than before. Every year they produce more food. That's the complete opposite of regular gardening where you literally start from zero every single spring. This is building a system that gets better and more productive as time goes on. So here's what I want you to actually do. Pick just 2 plants from this video. Only 2. Get them planted this coming spring in the right locations. Set them up with good mulch and maybe throw together a simple cold frame. Then next December, go outside and harvest something fresh from your own yard. Feel what that's actually like. Because I guarantee once you do it one single time, you're going to want to expand this whole system as big as you possibly can. Drop a comment down below and tell me which of these plants you're most excited to actually try. Are you Team Sunchoke? Team Sorrel? Or are you going all in with those weird walking onions? I read every single comment, so let me know what you're thinking.